The first day, I woke up in this goddamn novel. I spent the entire night doing what the original owner of this body hadn't managed in 5 years. I slept with the female lead. I had to beg, borrow, and steal, playing every card in the book until she finally caved. But the next morning, for the sake of the one that got away, her high school sweetheart, she still broke up with me. "Finn, I did what you asked," she said, her voice cold. "I hope you'll leave me alone now." She tossed a black credit card onto the nightstand. "There's $10 million on that. Consider it a severance package. If you dare show your face in front of Shane again, I swear I'll ruin you." I hid a smirk. "Honey, your precious Shane doesn't just sleep with his groupies. He's got a secret son with a black model on the side. A toxic girl for a scumbag guy. A match made in hell. Let them have each other." I took the money and walked. That very night, I ended up in bed with her arch-nemesis. One after a night of vigorous negotiations, I was still in a daze, looking at the woman lying on the pillow next to me. Stella Vance. In the flesh, she was even more breathtakingly, outrageously beautiful than the book described. In my past life, I'd grinded day and night, a workaholic entrepreneur. After a decade of blood, sweat, and tears, my company finally went public. I was financially free. Before I could even pop the champagne, I woke up here, inside the pages of some trashy romance novel I'd skimmed, cast as the pathetic placeholder boyfriend. This guy, the original Finn Carter, was a complete doormat. His entire existence revolved around Stella Vance. They were together for 5 years, and he never even made it in her bed. The moment her old flame, Shane Reed, came back to the States, Finn was kicked to the curb like a stray dog. The story goes that Stella gets cheated on and scammed by Shane. The original Finn, in a fit of rage, takes Shane down with him in a fiery car crash. A heartbroken Stella, disillusioned with the world, renounces men and becomes a famous recluse on the Upper East Side. I was already pissed off about dying right after making it big. Waking up as this spineless simp who couldn't even close the deal after 5 years. That just added insult to injury. I'd navigated boardrooms and bedrooms for years. One look at Stella, and I knew she was a virgin. There was no way I was letting that piece of trash Shane be her first. And I, for one, representing the good, decent people of America, couldn't let that stand. So when Stella tried to break up with me, I put on the performance of a lifetime. I played the guilt card, threatened to lose my mind, and delivered that classic manipulative line, "Just let me hold you." Thinking of the 5 years of Finn's thankless, devoted service, Stella must have felt a pang of guilt. Her resolve softened. She agreed. The result was a long, sleepless night for her. Even now, a faint trace of tears stained the corners of her eyes. To Stella's dark hair was a storm on the white silk pillow. She must have felt my gaze because her eyes snapped open, blazing with anger. "Stella, you're even beautiful when you're angry," I murmured. "What am I going to do? I really can't break up with you. I can't live without you." Okay, maybe I could live without her, but damn, she was gorgeous. The thought of her body was suddenly very distracting. The second I think about you leaving me, my heart feels like it's going to explode. Stella was furious. He said he'd just hold me. He didn't just hold me, and now he's going back on his word. Was he kidding? But when her eyes met my look of utter devastation, her anger wavered. She reached into her designer handbag, pulled out the credit card, and threw it at me. "There's $10 million on this. A breakup fee. If you dare go crying to Shane, I'll make you regret it." I decisively pocketed the card. "But what if, after we break up, you realize it's me you love?" I pressed, my voice full of theatrical pain. "Let's be clear about one thing. Once we're done, we're done. I won't take you back. Even if you get on your knees and beg, I won't give you a second glance." "Love you," she scoffed. "You can't even hold a candle to Shane. You think I'd ever beg you for anything? Who do you think you are?" Fair enough. I started taking off the shirt I had just put on. Stella panicked. "Finn, you asshole, what are you doing? Get off me. You, be gentle." 3 hours later, Stella was throwing my clothes at me. "Get out. I never want to see you again." I dressed quickly and left. I don't make a habit of clinging to women. Besides, the world is full of beautiful women. Why hang myself up on one tree? On my way out, I gave her perfectly rounded as a playful slap. As she shot me a look that could kill, I ducked my head and beat a hasty retreat. After I was gone, Stella stared blankly at the ceiling, her mind still reeling from the insanity of the last 24 hours. She felt like I had become a completely different person. The old Finn would never have dared to do these things to her. She thought she'd be happy after the breakup. Instead, there was an unexpected emptiness in her chest, as if something vital had just slipped through her fingers. I booked a flight to Miami that same day. I needed a vacation. In my last life, I worked myself to the bone for 10 years to finally get rich. Then I had a few too many at my own IPO party and woke up in this mess. This time around, I wasn't going to deny myself anything. For the second I hit the beach, I snapped a selfie and posted it to my Instagram story. Caption: happy breakup. Getting away from a toxic woman like Stella was definitely worth celebrating. Ever since Shane came back a month ago, she hadn't given the original Finn a single kind look. She came home later and later. A woman who never posted on social media was suddenly flooding her feed with couple wife photos with Shane. The last straw, the original Finn had a 104-degree fever, practically delirious. Stella was driving him to the hospital when Shane called. She pulled over and left Finn on the side of the road. What kind of monster does that? I was lounging on a beach chair, sipping a glass of Cabernet, when a pair of world-class legs appeared in my field of vision. I nearly choked on my wine. These legs were, if possible, even more perfect than Stella's. My brain immediately gave them a 99 out of 100. I looked up and met a pair of sparkling, captivating eyes. I searched the original Finn's memories. This devastating woman was Celine Montgomery, heiress to the Montgomery family fortune, and Stella Vance's sworn enemy. The Montgomerys and the Vances had a long-standing feud. These two women had been competing over everything since they were in diapers. While the Carters were well off, they were small-time compared to the Vance and Montgomery dynasties. She looked at me with a half-smile. So, you finally dumped that bitch Stella? Stella's toxic, I said, not missing a beat. Why keep a woman like that around? It's not like it's Thanksgiving. She looked at me, surprised. You're not sad. I was. But then I saw you, and you're way hotter than she is, so I suddenly feel a lot better. Celine let out a tinkling laugh, giving me a flirty once-over. Finn, I always thought you were so boring. I had no idea you could be so smooth. Oh, really? And here I thought that was my one flaw you hadn't noticed. Celine giggled again, covering her mouth as she settled into the lounge chair next to mine. Celine, what are you doing here? My gaze unapologetically drifted to her smooth, tanned legs. Business trip. I saw your Instagram story and decided to track you down. She caught my eyes lingering on her legs and asked with a playful smile, Are my legs pretty? They're beautiful. It's just a waist that I can only look and not touch. Go ahead, she said, looking at me like she was watching a play. If you want to touch them, touch them. How could I refuse an offer like that? The moment I lunged, she flipped me with a perfect shoulder throw that sent me flying. I groaned as I picked myself up. Damn, this woman doesn't fight fair. I swear, women are all trouble. I settled back into my chair, took a sip of my wine, and deliberately ignored her. Seeing as you're still in the mood to joke around, you really must not be sad, she said. I turned my face away, refusing to engage. But Celine leaned in closer, her voice a seductive whisper. Finn, do you want to get back at Stella? That got my attention. What kind of revenge did you have in mind? How furious do you think Stella would be if we got together? She mused. You know we're mortal enemies. I'm always happy to do anything that pisses her off. I suddenly remembered a passage from a novel. Celine had made the same offer to the original Finn, but he was so hopelessly devoted to Stella that he'd flatly refused. Huh, so the original Finn wasn't just a wimp, he was blind too. The woman in front of me was, by any objective measure, even more stunning than Stella. How could anyone refuse such an outrageous request? Let me touch your leg, and I'll do it. Celine frowned, studying my face for a long moment. Just one touch. I nodded emphatically. Cross my heart. She looked like she was making a monumental decision. Fine. Seeing the serious look on her face, my heart started pounding. I wasn't the old Finn. A man doesn't turn down an offer like that. I grinned and reached out, my hand landing on her thigh. But when I tried to venture a little higher, thump, another shoulder throw sent me sailing. Finn, you asshole. You broke your promise. 6 back in New York at the Vance Corporation headquarters. An assistant entered the office with a stack of documents for Stella to sign. Ms. Vance, mister. Carter didn't bring lunch today. Stella's pen froze. She had a sensitive stomach and couldn't eat takeout. For years, the original Finn had cooked for her at home and brought her meals to the office. Her expression darkened. I broke up with him. He won't be bringing it anymore. The assistant was taken aback. Everyone in the company knew that Shane Reed had been visiting Ms. Vance constantly since his return. They acted like a couple. People had been betting on when she and Finn would break up, but she hadn't expected it to be so soon. Sensing her boss's bad mood, the assistant didn't dare ask more. She took the signed papers and quickly left. Stella was distracted all day. She even turned down a dinner invitation from Shane, which was unheard of. The memory of last night's surrender made her grind her teeth in frustration. After work, she went straight to a private room at a bar her friends had booked. The moment she walked in, 8 pairs of eyes swiveled to her. Stella found a seat, frowning at her friend's stares. "What are you all looking at me for? Is something wrong with you?" Her best friend, Chloe, sat beside her and asked tentatively, "Stella, Finn used to follow you everywhere. How come he's not with you today?" Stella snorted. "Weren't you all the ones who complained about him always being around? Now he's not. Shouldn't you be happy?" Chloe poured her a drink. "You didn't actually break up with Finn to get back with Shane, did you? Look, Finn might have been a total simp, but at least he was completely devoted to you. Shane abandoned you to go overseas. Now that his family's business over there is on the verge of bankruptcy, he comes running back. Be careful. His motives might not be so pure." Stella's face went cold. "If you're going to keep insulting Shane, I'm leaving." Her other friends quickly raised their glasses to smooth things over. "Come on, guys, no more of that. We're here to drink. Let's just have a good time." The atmosphere gradually warmed up again. 7 after a few rounds, everyone was a little tipsy. Chloe, her cheeks flushed, leaned in. "Stella, you dated Finn for 5 years and never let him touch you. How did you keep him so obedient?" All eyes turned to Stella again. The topic just made her angrier. She wanted to bite my head off. The effects of our night together still made walking a little awkward. She'd even canceled a candlelit dinner with Shane, worried he'd notice something was off. Stella didn't answer, just kept downing her drinks. The mood turned awkward. People started scrolling through their phones. They all ran in the same social circles. My identity as the younger son of the Carter family, while not a true heir, still came with a 5% stake in the company and a multi-million-dollar annual dividend. They all follow my social media, so they could all see my Instagram. Before, my feed was a shrine to Stella. Now, they saw that every post related to her had been deleted. Earlier in the day, he'd posted the happy breakup selfie from Miami. Now, he'd posted a new carousel of a dozen photos. Finn Carter in swim trunks, strolling along the beach at sunset, looking incredible. The caption read, "Watching the sunset with the one I love most. The view is beautiful, but not half as beautiful as you." Everyone's expression turned strange. Stella, feeling their shifting gazes, glanced over. The photos show me smiling so brightly it was almost blinding. The caption made her blood boil. Chloe sighed dreamily. "Finn's whole vibe has changed." The others chimed in. "Yeah, I always thought he was just average looking. How'd he suddenly get so hot? I thought he'd be a wreck after the breakup, not this happy. Look at that caption. Do you think there's really another woman with him?" Clang. Stella slammed her glass on the table, her face a thundercloud. "We came out to have a few drinks, and all you can talk about is Finn. Are you ever going to stop?" She stormed out, slamming the door behind her. Chloe looked baffled. "I thought she didn't care about him. Why is she so pissed? What is her problem?" The others were just as confused. "You don't think she actually fell for him, do you? Looks like there might be something there. You know, my friend in Europe told me that while Shane got famous in the rap scene over there, his personal life is a mess. I mentioned it to Stella once and she almost ended our friendship. Accused me of slandering Shane and insulting his character. I was so mad." Chloe said softly, "Honestly, I still think Finn is better. If Stella doesn't want him, I might just have to make a move." "You little minx, you've been planning this all along, haven't you? Wow, you hid that well." Stella returned to her empty penthouse. Before, no matter how late she came home, there was always a light left on for her. Now, the apartment was dark, cavernous, and cold. It didn't feel like a home anymore. She sank onto the sofa, her expression desolate, and pulled out her phone to look at my Instagram. In the pictures, my eyes were full of light, brimming with pure happiness. This is Finn, the same man whose world revolved around her. The man who would tiptoe around her, anxious and uncertain, the moment she frowned. No one could change that much, that fast. Stella refused to believe the pictures were real. It's just a show to get to me, she muttered. He's certainly learned a few tricks. Meanwhile, I was enjoying a lavish seafood dinner with Celine, flirting and laughing without a care in the world. I asked for the name of her hotel and immediately declared I was getting the room next to hers. Why? To be your knight in shining armor, of course. A woman as beautiful as you, Miss Montgomery. What if someone gets the wrong idea? If I'm next door, I can be there in a flash to protect you. That night, I checked into the room next to Celine's. The next few days were a blur of deep-sea fishing and scuba diving. Our relationship progressed at lightning speed. A week later, Celine and I returned to New York together. Stella and Shane were just about to be seated for dinner when they saw two familiar figures in the lobby. Her eyes instantly filled with rage. Those two figures were, of course, Celine and me. The thought of my Instagram caption, the one I love most, made her face turn pale with anger. We were in the middle of a story about her trip. I'd said something that made Celine dissolve into laughter, and she playfully tapped my chest with her fists, which I caught in my hand. To any outsider, we looked like a couple in the throes of a new romance. Shane saw us too. When he saw Celine, who was arguably even more glamorous than Stella, a flame of jealousy ignited in his chest. He'd assumed I'd be miserable after Stella dumped me. He never imagined I'd be thriving. Isn't that Finn? Shane sneered. So much for being heartbroken. He found a new girl pretty fast. She doesn't exactly look like the classy type, either. Stella's eyes were hard. Don't talk about her like that. Her name is Celine Montgomery. She's the Montgomery heiress. Their family is one of the most powerful in the city. But they're my family's biggest rivals. Stella, see? The guy's a snake. You were together for years, and the second you break up, he gets with your family's enemy. So pathetic. Stella's expression was grim. He's just trash I threw away. They're probably together just to provoke me. Just as we were about to step into an elevator, Stella and Shane followed us in. Shane glared at me. I thought you were so pure. Didn't take you long to find a replacement, did it? The original Finn didn't know what a scumbag Shane was, but I did. Well, if it isn't the famous rap star, I shot back. Heard you had a wild time in Europe these past few years. You're walking a little unsteady there, pal. Looks like you're running on fumes. Kitty problems. Shane's face drained of color. He started to stammer. You, don't talk nonsense. I'm just making an observation, I said mockingly. Why so defensive? Stella's gaze on Shane became more scrutinizing. He quickly tried to explain. Stella, listen to me. Don't listen to him. He's just trying to drive a wedge between us. Stella decided not to press the issue, turning her icy gaze on me instead. Since we're all here, why don't we have dinner together? I shrugged. Thanks, Miss Vance, but we wouldn't want to interrupt your date night. A toxic woman and a gaslighting dirtbag. Just looking at them was annoying. Eating with them would kill my appetite. Stella gritted her teeth. A week ago, it was sweetheart and baby. Now she was Ms. Vance? He was clearly drawing a line in the sand. Worse, it was the first time I'd ever refused her to her face. To my surprise, Celine spoke up. Oh, come on, Finn. It's just dinner. The more the merrier. I leaned in and whispered in her ear. Celine, what's your game? I knew there was a reason you insisted on this restaurant. You planned this, didn't you? I'll let you touch my legs. Twice. Deal. Stella watched our intimate exchange, her fists clenching at her sides. After we ordered, I spent the whole time whispering with Celine. How mad do you think Stella would be if she knew Shane was a complete fraud? Celine's eyes widened. What do you mean? Did you have him investigated? I just smiled cryptically and continued. It's not hard to find out that the Reed family is going bankrupt. But the fact that Shane sleeps with his fans, has a chaotic private life, and a secret son. The Reeds have kept a tight lid on that. Not many people know. How do you know? I just gave her a mysterious smile. If what you're saying is true, she whispered back, Stella would probably cough up blood. The world thinks you were madly in love with her. Why didn't you just tell her? I looked at her like she was an idiot. You think if I told her that her perfect, long-lost love was a scumbag, she would have believed me over him? A woman in love is never rational. I'm not a masochist. What's with that look? My condescending stare successfully provoked Celine, and she lunged at me playfully. 11 watching us flirt and joke. Stella's face was livid. Her lungs felt like they were about to explode. If she wasn't trying to save face in front of her old flame and her sworn enemy, she probably would have jumped across the table and tried to strangle me. Shane, seeing Stella's sour mood, reached for her hand to comfort her. "What are you doing?" Stella snatched her hand away as if she'd been burned. Shane's face fell. He'd been planning to show off their affection in front of us, but he hadn't expected such a visceral reaction from her. His eyes shot daggers at me. I was a little surprised myself. According to the novel's plot, their relationship should have been heating up by now. Judging by their body language, Shane clearly hadn't sealed the deal. I couldn't resist a little jab. "Ms. Vance, the guy came all the way back from Europe for you, and you won't even let him hold your hand? You don't want to break your hero's heart, do you?" Stella looked like she wanted to eat me alive. Shane knew I was mocking him, but forced a smile. "It's fine. I've only been back a month. It's natural to be a little distant. Stella, I could give you more time." Hearing Shane's understanding words didn't bring Stella any joy. Instead, her feelings grew more complicated. "Well, here's to you too," I said, raising my glass. "May you live happily ever after and have many beautiful children." Stella slammed her chopsticks on the table. "Finn, what is that supposed to mean?" "Nothing at all. Come on, let's eat. Let's eat." I quickly tried to diffuse the situation. Celine played the part of the doting girlfriend perfectly, putting food on my plate and peeling shrimp for me. Stella's eyes were shooting fire. She knew Celine was doing it on purpose, but she couldn't stop herself from trembling with rage. Shane watched Stella, then looked at me. The hatred in his eyes deepened. When Celine placed another piece of food on my plate, Stella finally snapped. "Finn, are you a child? Do you need someone to feed you?" I didn't even look at her, just kept eating. Celine giggled. "Stella, Finn is my man now. What business is it of yours if I want to feed my man?" Stella was speechless, unable to find a comeback. As Celine continued to peel shrimp for me, Stella could only clench her fists and swallow her anger. Shane decided to follow suit, peeling shrimp and placing food on Stella's plate. The irony was, Stella didn't eat a single bite. The expression on her face was strained. Was that a hint of disgust? "Shane, I can get it myself. You should eat." Stella was a notorious germaphobe. It had taken 3 years of our relationship before she'd finally let me put food on her plate. Shane's hand froze mid-air, his expression a priceless mix of shock and embarrassment. The rest of the dinner was a masterclass in awkward tension, thick with unspoken hostility. As we were leaving, Celine smiled seductively at me. "Where to next? Want to grab a drink at a bar?" I put down my napkin and wrapped an arm around her waist. "Why go to a bar? Let's go to the hotel." "You're terrible." Celine pinched my side hard, making me wince. Stella saw this and exploded. She rushed forward to grab me, but Shane held her back. I swept Celine up into my arms. "Put me down," she gasped. As curious onlookers stared, she quickly buried her face in my chest, her cheeks burning. I leaned down and whispered in her ear, "You said you wanted to piss her off. Let's give her something to really be mad about." Instantly, Celine stopped struggling. Her arms wrapped naturally around my neck, and she shot a defiant glance at Stella. I laughed, carrying Celine towards the waiting car. The driver's jaw was on the floor. Stella broke free from Shane and yanked open the car door. I glanced at her, then gave Celine a wicked smile. "Want to make it even more interesting?" Then I kissed her. "What MMPH?" Celine's eyes flew open in disbelief. Her mind went blank, and for a moment, she forgot to resist. This woman had come looking for me. She was playing with fire. After the past week, the tension between us was already at its breaking point. This was the perfect opportunity to push it over the edge. Just then, the back door was wrenched open by Stella. She saw us kissing, and her pupils constricted. She froze on the spot. Celine was about to push me away, but seeing Stella's devastated expression filled her with a delicious sense of victory. She tightened her grip on my neck and kissed me back hard. "Finn, you bastard." Slam! Stella slammed the car door shut and fled. I didn't even look back at her, too busy kissing Celine as if my life depended on it. I didn't let her go until she was breathless. 13, I spent the night at Celine's villa, though not in the same room. For all her natural flirtatiousness, Celine was surprisingly traditional at heart. Conquering her completely would take a little more time. The next morning, I woke up to over 99 missed calls and hundreds of messages. Most were from Stella, but plenty were from my parents and friends. Then I saw the trending topic that had taken over the internet. Shane Reed had posted a long screed on Twitter, accusing me of sabotaging his relationship with the CEO of the Vance Corporation. He called me shameless, a stalker who refused to take no for an answer. The post included a gallery of photos of him and Stella, from high school to the present day. Shane was a rapper with a decent following, about 3 million diehard fans. Stella, as a famous and beautiful New York CEO, was a public figure in her own right. A swarm of bots and trolls descended on me online. I had no doubt who was footing the bill. The post rocketed up the trending charts, quickly hitting the top 3. The internet exploded. This Finn guy is disgusting. How dare he interfere with our Shane's relationship? Is he trying to be the other man? Gross. What a psycho creep. He should look in a mirror and see if he even deserves to be in the same room as Ms. Vance. Ms. Vance must have the worst luck to be stalked by a psycho like this. He's messing with our Shane. Does he want our fan army to bankrupt his family's company? The son of the Carter family has no morals. We need to boycott all Carter Industries products. Finn Carter, get online and apologize now. In the original novel, the old Finn had relentlessly pursued Stella after their breakup. Shane had used the exact same tactic, weaponizing public opinion to slander him. Stella had unhesitatingly stood by Shane, endorsing his claims. The original Finn had no proof. In 5 years, they didn't have a single intimate photo together. With Stella herself denying the relationship, he was crucified online. The Carter family company was hit hard, its stock price plummeting. They didn't go bankrupt, but their market value evaporated by 80%, and they never recovered. 14. Just then, my older brother, the current CEO of Carter Industries, called. He said our parents were furious about the lies online and were threatening to go to the Vance family and demand an explanation. He was already planning to spend a fortune to kill the story. I told him not to do anything. I was prepared. He was skeptical, but eventually agreed to wait. The moment he hung up, Stella called. Finn, if you promise to leave Celine, I can help you clear your name. I wouldn't want to trouble you, Ms. Vance, I said coldly. You, don't be an idiot. I didn't want to talk to her anymore, so I hung up. Celine was leaning against the doorframe, a smile playing on her lips. You're being crucified by the entire internet, and you'd still rather burn than accept Stella's help and give me up. I'm touched, Finn. Truly. I was busy organizing files on my laptop. I glanced up at her. Of course. My love for you is real. She gave me a sultry look. Such a sweet talker. Do you need me to make a few calls? I can get this all buried. No need, I said without looking up. If I can't handle this, how can I be your man? Celine laughed, a rich, throaty sound. The look she gave me was hotter than ever. The truth was, I'd started planning for this on my first day in this world. The original Finn and Stella might not have had any romantic photos, but the Vance penthouse living room was covered by security cameras. The day we broke up, I copied all the footage. 5 years of them living together. The moment those videos were released, the rumors would collapse. Furthermore, the gifts the original Finn had given Stella over the years could fill a small room. A single necklace from an auction was worth over $1 million. The total value of the gifts exceeded $10 million. I had receipts for all of it, complete with photos of the items and pictures of Stella wearing them. 15. By the time I finished writing my tell-all post, detailing the last 5 years and attaching all the evidence, Shane's story was the #1 trending topic in the country. The internet was a tidal wave of hate directed at me. My social media accounts had gained 500,000 new followers in a few hours, all of them there to curse me out. My family's personal information had been doxed. To my surprise, Stella hadn't come out in support of Shane, but she hadn't clarified anything either. She remained silent. The moment I hit post, all hell broke loose. Countless users and major influencers shared it. Shane frantically posted again, claiming my evidence was photoshopped and that I was a despicable manipulator. But cybersecurity experts quickly came forward, confirming that the videos and documents showed no signs of digital alteration. I had photos, videos, and receipts. I had irrefutable proof. No one expected the tables to turn so quickly. The netizens who had been whipped into a frenzy felt duped and foolish. Their anger was redirected. Even Shane's most loyal fans felt used. They flooded his social media accounts, tearing him to shreds. All the hate that had been aimed at me was returned to him 1,000 times over. But I wasn't done. I posted the evidence my brother's P.I. had dug up over the last week. Proof of Shane's history of sleeping with underage fans in Europe, his chaotic private life, and his secret son. The Reed family was less powerful than mine. If they had the resources to bury a story, we had the resources to dig it up. Shane had started this war. I wasn't going to show any mercy. When the birth certificate of his secret son and high-definition photos of him escorting a black model in and out of a hotel were released simultaneously, Twitter's servers actually crashed. Shane instantly became a social pariah. I've been a fan for years, and he's this kind of scumbag. I feel sick. His secret kid is old enough for kindergarten, and he's in America pretending to be a saint. Ugh. Cancel him. He needs to be deplatformed everywhere. Trash. Shane Reed lied to us for years. Get out of the industry. I feel so bad for Finn. That bastard Shane tried to ruin him. He can go to hell. Where are all the brain-dead fans who were attacking Finn before? Why are you so quiet? Get back here and apologize. Stella Vance is no better. 5-year relationship she never acknowledged. Then lets her ex get slandered. They're two peas in a pod. A scumbag and a toxic bitch. A perfect match. When does the Vance Corp stock start to tank? I'll be the first one celebrating. The narrative had completely flipped. Shane's social media was overrun by furious netizens. His comment section refreshing with tens of thousands of insults per minute. His management company issued an emergency statement announcing they had terminated his contract. All his music was pulled from streaming platforms. That's when Stella finally broke her silence. Her Instagram was updated with a new post. I was not aware of the false statements made by Mr. Shane Reed online regarding myself. Mr. Finn Carter and I were indeed in a relationship for 5 years, but have amicably separated due to personal differences. My relationship with Mr. Reed is that of a platonic friend only. I'm not responsible for his actions. This attempt to distance herself only fueled the public's fury. You're only clearing things up now. Where were you when Shane was slandering Finn? LOL. So all those cozy pictures Shane posted were photoshopped. You have some very platonic friends. Does she take us for idiots? This move is so pathetic. See, Stella Vance is trash. The second Shane's career went up in flames, she cut him loose. I looked at my phone and scoffed. So now she decides to speak up. Too late. The Vance Corporation was about to take a serious hit. I looked over and saw Celine lying on her bed, scrolling gleefully through her phone. A smile on her face she couldn't contain. Hee hee. Finn, darling, that move was brutal. You didn't just beat her, you humiliated her, she cackled. Stella must be losing her mind now that she knows her precious one that got away is such a degenerate. Ha ha ha. Just thinking about how she must be feeling makes me so happy. My gaze drifted down to her long, perfect snow-white legs. I raised an eyebrow. So, how are you going to reward me? She looked at me, her eyes smoldering as she bit her luscious lower lip. How about with my body? She didn't even finish the sentence before I was on top of her. She panicked. I was joking. You, be gentle. 17. In the weeks that followed, the public backlash caused the Vance Corporation's market value to plummet. Following the plot points I remembered from the novel, I helped my brother make several strategic moves, snatching major projects right out from under them. The Montgomery Corporation naturally seized the opportunity to pile on. In just 1 month, the Vance Corporation lost over 1/3 of its value. The Reed family, already teetering on the edge of bankruptcy, was completely wiped out by the scandal. Stella called me countless times. She sent long, pleading texts, apologizing and asking to meet. I ignored them all. One evening, I was accompanying Celine to a black-tie charity gala. Unsurprisingly, we ran into Stella. She looked haggard and had lost a lot of weight. She froze when she saw me. The old me, the layabout rich kid, would never have attended this kind of high society event. When she saw how close Celine and I were, her face hardened. Celine and I pretended not to see her. But Stella walked right up and grabbed my arm. I shook her off. Ms. Vance, this is a public event. Don't you think it's inappropriate to be putting your hands on your ex-boyfriend? My cold words made her freeze. She stared at my familiar face, a face that no longer held any trace of the subservient worship she was used to. A sharp pain lanced through her heart. She was the one who ended it, but now that I was treating her with cold indifference, she couldn't stand it. Celine glared at her. "Ms. Vance, are you really going to grope my man right in front of me? Have you no shame?" Stella had been desperate to explain herself, but I hadn't given her the chance. She hadn't expected to see me here. She looked at Celine, a hint of pleading in her eyes. "I just have something I need to talk to Finn about. Could you give us a moment, Ms. Montgomery?" Celine, who had grown quite fond of having me around 24/7, refused flatly. "No." Stella's face darkened, and she had no choice but to walk away. Celine's mood instantly brightened, her eyes sparkling with delight. I stared at her for a second. In the novel, Celine's happiness was directly proportional to Stella's suffering. I guess some things were true to the source material. It was a little twisted, but her reaction suited my purposes perfectly. I wrapped an arm around her and gave her a quick kiss. These kinds of backslapping corporate events really weren't my scene. I stepped out onto a quiet stairwell for a cigarette. I don't know how she found me, but Stella followed me out. "Finn," she began, her voice trembling. "I haven't spoken to Shane at all. I know I was wrong. Can we go back to how we were before?" A wave of irritation washed over me, mostly on behalf of the original Finn. I laughed, a harsh, humorless sound. "Stella, for 5 years, I was your dog. I came when you called. I lived and breathed for you. I humbled myself into the dust for you. And what did I get? In your eyes, I wasn't even worth as much as a dog. 5 years of my life, and it meant less to you than a few sweet words from that scumbag Shane. When he was trying to destroy me, what did you do? Nothing. You have to understand, if I hadn't been prepared, I would be the one who was ruined right now. Your silence, your complicity, how is that any different from what he did? You should thank your lucky stars you didn't side with him and kick me when I was down. Otherwise, I swear to God, this would have been a war to the death between us. Shane's crimes involve minors. I've already turned the evidence over to the police. Just go. I don't want to have anything to do with you ever again." Stella's eyes were red. She suddenly lunged forward and threw her arms around me. "Finn, I've had time to think. I love you. It's you I love. I was wrong. Can we please start over?" She tilted her head up, tears welling in her eyes. "It was my fault. Just give me a chance to make it up to you." I looked down at the fierce conviction in her face, and I found it utterly absurd. But she was serious. I pushed her away hard. "Stella, your I love you is about 5 years and one massive scandal too late. It's worthless. And for the record, I don't do leftovers. We're done." Just then, a figure lunged out of the shadows on the landing above. It was Shane. His eyes were wild with hatred. "Finn, it was you called the cops. You took everything from me. I'm going to drag you to hell." He was holding a knife, its blade glinting in the dim light as he charged at me. But his debauched lifestyle had left him weak. I sent him flying with a single kick. The knife clattered down the stairwell. He tried to scramble up and attack me again, but Stella shoved him hard. Shane tumbled backward down the steep flight of stairs. There was a sickening crack. His neck was broken. Later, Stella was arrested for manslaughter. But the Vance family had deep pockets. They paid a fortune to Shane's family to secure their forgiveness. Stella was eventually convicted of involuntary manslaughter and received a suspended sentence of 3 to 5 years. The scandal, however, cost her her position as the heir to the Vance Corporation. Disheartened and broken, Stella Vance disappeared from public life, becoming a well-known recluse on the Upper East Side. And as for me and Celine, we lived shamelessly ever after. The end.